Alrighty, so this is going to be one of the first times that I have ever tried to go live through Ecamm Live. Um, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a test run here, and I'm also doing Instagram for the first time. And I mainly just wanted to kind of check this stuff out and kind of see what's going on with it, um, and see, make sure that it's working and whatnot. But anyway, Gunnar Henderson returns tonight. I know a lot of people are highly anticipating this return. A lot of people were thinking, was it going to be Jorge Mateo that went down? I know some people had wondered, is it going to be Ramon Urias? It's there was a lot of questions around who was going to go down. Ultimately, it ended up being Dylan Carlson. I think that was probably the most obvious choice. In my opinion, was definitely just Carlson. But what is Gunnar going to bring? Right now the offense is absolutely scuffling. I've been putting it on Twitter lately. In their last 45 losses, 39 of those games, they've scored 3 runs or less. So the offense is becoming an issue. And, they're like, they're last 100 games, they're under 500. I think they're 47-53 or something like that. They got a long way to go, and it's all going to fall on the offense. I know a lot of people are banging the table and banging the door about the pitching. More times than not, the pitching is letting up 4 or less runs a game. When your offense doesn't score at least 4, you're going to lose. 4 is about average for a Major League Baseball offense to score a night. So if your starting staff and overall, your entire pitching staff is only allowing 4 runs and you're losing, that's not a good thing. So, and like Joe says here, now maybe Heston can earn a spot while Colton is down. And I agree with that. It's going to give him some time. Heston needs some time. I mean, he's been a guy, he was starting to become the Kyle Stowers treatment, in my opinion, where you have a pretty decent player, but it was just you couldn't find him at bats. I mean, you had Santander sitting in front of him and whatnot. I mean, Heston was kind of falling down that road, and it's kind of making me a little nervous, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I thought he was just going to kind of get the shaft forever. You have a guy who's turning 26, 27 years old this year, and you potentially were going to send him down to AAA. That wouldn't have been good for his value. You wouldn't have been able to convince a team to take him. So, but this is what we've got. I mean, Heston, I think, is going to take the bull by the horns when he gets his opportunity here, and he's going to prove it. And I mean, listen, look, this happened. I'm not trying to be negative here. This happened to Austin Hayes last year, where he got hurt. And an opportunity opened for Colton Cowser, and he took it by the horns. And he earned his playing time with his chances. Heston has the same opportunity right now with an injury to earn everyday playing time and make it extremely hard on the Orioles when Colton Cowser comes back of what to do. Having 4 outstanding outfielders, it never hurts anybody. So hopefully Heston, really takes this opportunity and just runs with it. Comes out of the gate hitting 270 or something like that, and a couple home runs. And then when you get a guy like Colton Cowser back, we all love the Moo Man. Does he settle into a 4th outfielder role at that point? Like, that's not a bad thing to have for a baseball team where you have just too many good players. It's kind of a bad thing, but not terribly bad. I'm excited to see it. I think Gunnar kind of adds a little bit of stability to the infield now. Now you can settle in Westberg at 3rd. You can settle Jackson at 2nd. You can settle Gunnar at shortstop. That way you only have a little bit of a rotating door, sometimes at 3rd base and then sometimes at 1st base. You have a little bit more of a rotating door at DH, but getting a little bit of stability and continuity for this team, and especially this infield, is going to do well. I still think the pitching is an issue, but it's also not an issue. Charlie Morton's going to get better. Everybody's going to get better. Cade Povich is going to get better. So am I that concerned about it? Not yet. Maybe a third time through the lineup, if everybody struggles, then I'll get a little antsy about it. But I mean, hell, Morton gave up 2 early 2-run home runs and then finished with 10 strikeouts. Like, he just did what a veteran does, put his head down and got you through 5 innings. He's not going to make those mistakes in starts 3, 4, and 5, and 6. He might make them here and there. He's not going to make as many. Those balls are right down the middle. He's not going to make those mistakes later on. So I'm not that concerned about Morton just yet. I mean, I know some people are ready to just completely write the season off, but it's fine. Life is fine. Nothing to get too crazy down about just yet. I mean, 2 times through the rotation, just give it time. Guy's 41. I know he's old. Look, he only had 8 innings in the spring training. It probably wasn't enough, to get him ready. Yes, he was on the backfields. It wasn't enough. It's one thing to snap a curveball off to your own guy. It's another thing to snap a curveball off to a major league hitter. A guy like Toronto as well, or Boston, these good hitters. I've seen plenty of people say that Boston and Toronto aren't good. These are playoff caliber teams. A lot of people pick Boston to win the division. These things are going to happen. April is an incredibly tough month for the Orioles. It's almost like what June was last year. All the really good teams are loaded up in April on us. So if we start a little slow, cool. Like, people are going to be pissed. I get it. We got a whole nother couple months of baseball to go after that. So it's not that big of a deal. What we got? Adit says, when Colton comes back, is this the top 6? Gunnar, Adley, Cowser, Westberg, O'Neill, Heston, and Holiday. That's very possible. That is very possible. Look, if Heston really takes the bull by the horns here, they might not know exactly what to do with Cowser because everybody else is going to perform, obviously. So who knows? Who knows? The ball is in Heston's court right now to earn his playing time. And if he struggles, then everybody waits for Cowser to come back. If he doesn't, my hope is that Heston comes out and just lights it on fire, right? To the point where when Cowser comes back, you don't know what to do with who. That's the best case scenario for the Orioles. That's what I want. They need to get an ace somewhere pitching. I agree, Smee, but the problem is where are you going to find it right now? It's very hard early in the season. Oh, are you serious? It's not? Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. Really? I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad at you. Yeah, so let me go back to what I was saying, Smee. So make the trade, right? You got it. It's very hard this time of the year to find somebody who wants to trade in April, probably even May. You're going to get to like the end of May or June for a team to say, shit, we're out of it. It's going to take a bit. A lot of people were kind of high on Dylan Cease or Michael King. Let's be honest. San Diego's a damn good baseball team. They're not getting rid of those guys. Yeah, they might lose them. They're not getting rid of them. They're going to go try and make a deep playoff run this year. Take those 2 guys off the board. Their names might be floated all year, just like Scooball's was last year. Doesn't mean they're really available. And they're not going to be, in my opinion. It's going to be hard. They're going to have to look deep. They're going to have to look at and they're not going to be number 1s, but solid 2s or 3s, maybe Ryan Weathers, Jose Soriano, somebody from maybe Luis Severino might be available if the A's kind of, don't do as well as maybe they think this year. It's going to be tough. Maybe the Mets kind of fumble around a little bit. Maybe you can pry one guy away from there. There's not a whole lot available. And teams like New York, who is really hurting for pitching, both New York teams, they're going to send almost whatever it takes to acquire someone. It's going to be extremely hard, in my opinion, to acquire a starting pitcher this year. Extremely hard. And, that is what it is. And the O's, look, they made their bed. Now they're going to have to lie in it. And if they can go and pry somebody, cool, then do it. I mean, there's some guys that, look, they might even have to go into the minor leagues, like guys that are almost ready to make their debut in AAA and bring them up. Even though we have our own guys like that, but Like, look, the Yankees got several guys that throw 100 miles an hour. Do you trade Ramon Urias for one of those? They're only in Double-A, but they project as a number 2 long term. Do you take that risk now? That's what I'm saying. They're in a tough spot. And this free agency this winter, not going to get any better. You know, Zach Eflin's like one of the top tier guys. Try to lock him up now. But other than that, there's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. And it's going to be funny to watch people kind of explode when they don't get a high tier quality pitcher, but it's just the nature of it. They're going to have to either excessively overpay everybody else, which will make people complain anyway, or not get anything, which, you know, they like I said, they made their bed here and they got to lie in it. What's more likely here? Elias trades with a rebuilding selling team or trades with a team that's at least 50-50 coming? I think it just depends, Adit. You know, does that 50-50 team think that what we have makes them better this year and or next year? Or does he have to look at a team like Colorado or the White Sox or something like that? Colorado doesn't have anything that's going to make us any bit better, I don't think. You know, you basically just have to hope for like what Texas did last year, where they just, you know, tons of injuries and they kind of sell off just a little bit. And you could pry one guy away from that. Our honest to God best case scenario is if Tampa Bay somehow falls off a cliff and we can maybe grab, you know, Petit or Lytle or something like that. One of those really good arms that Tampa has. It's going to be tough, man. And I know, you know, all offseason people were kind of thinking, oh, you know, Ryan Helsley or Sonny Gray. And I seen you pop in there, Stefan. That's why I started talking about it. Look, St. Louis playing good ball right now. Stefan just texted me. It's the 7th straight game they've had 10 or more hits. They weren't projected to do that this year. That's a team that could take that step that nobody expected. And then what? Those guys are off the board. Like, it's going to be tough to acquire some pitching this year. And that's all on Mike Elias. So the only thing you can honestly pray to God for is, does Trevor Rogers figure it out? Does Chase McDermott turn a corner? You know, is Brandon Young ready to go? We might have to roll with what's in. What is within. Sorry about that. So it's they did miss. They did miss this offseason. That's on them, you know? That's on them. So people cried about it, you know, and look, crying about it now, that's the problem. It's not going to do anything because nothing's available. I get people's frustrations, but, you know, Twitter's a fun spot sometimes. It's a fun spot at times. But this was just a quick test. I'm trying a new software out, and I kind of like it because normally I could never incorporate Instagram on here, and I'm excited to kind of bring Instagram into this. So this is an Apple-only software that I'm testing since I'm trying to convert to Apple. And if everything is syncing and looks good, then I'm happy. But this was just a quick one tonight. I am going to jump off and go get my kids from daycare. I'm going to watch the game like the rest of you guys, and I'm going to rage tweet just like the rest of us. And I might be on later. I don't know. Let's see it out. I'm excited to try this, so I might be on later tonight, and we'll test it all out then. But I appreciate you guys stopping in. It eats me, you know, Tim, and Joe Radke up there. I will catch you guys later. Peace.